Bom dia. Good morning, everybody. And to people there, good morning. Yeah, thank you so much. So great to be back here in São Paulo again. Always love coming here. You saw the team here. This is just a sample representation of ManageEngine. As we speak, because of all the support from people like you, our customers in Brazil, we have an office in São Paulo that is growing steadily and strongly. So I've been coming here since 2002. This is the 4th straight year. So we are doing this user conference. Amazing to see some familiar faces, people who have come all 4 years, some new faces. Always wonderful to have this energy, this conversation. So most of you would know we are an Indian company with global presence. We are in the 23rd year of business, and fair to say in the last 10 years, Latin America, particularly Brazil, has been like beyond expectations for us. The traction that we have had, the support, the interest, not just from our customers and also our partners. We have wonderful partners here. ManageEngine is starting to be a community in Brazil, right? So, like I said, we have customers, we have partners, we have friends from the media, we have people like Andrea here from the influencer thought leadership community. So pleasing to see this becoming a community, and our commitment from ManageEngine is we will keep our efforts, our investment going for Brazil. We'll have a strong team present here, available as close to you as possible, right? So when you have a question, you would have someone to call, either our partners or ManageEngine directly. So that is the direction we are taking. So thanks for validating our commitment. So 2022, we had a relatively smaller event. Every year, it is getting bigger and better. And our team is already talking about finding a bigger venue for next year. So thank you all for this support. I hope you would have 2 wonderful days here. And like we usually do, the next 20 minutes of my presentation, it's also important to talk about technology and products. I know you're all excited to talk among each other, but this is what we will do. ManageEngine, like I said, we are a global company with global aspirations. We build our products thinking locally, right? So the technology is global, but the problems we solve, we aspire that to be as local as possible. So Brazil, for example, you would have very region-specific, vertical-specific problems. We'll have our products built globally, but the solutions will be delivered locally. And I've been speaking about this in the last 3 years. Most of you have followed ManageEngine would know. We call it a journey, the digital transformation journey. The industry that we are in, the IT industry or the digital technology industry, it's a journey, long journey. And like any journey, you are going to have, it's not going to be smooth. The journey is not going to be smooth, like your life, right? So you'll have to make tough choices. There'll be disruptions. You will be making choices like which route to take. Sometimes you won't know what route to take. There'll be bumps on the road, right? You will fall down. You'll have to get up. The last 2-3 years, we are indeed facing one of such massive disruption in the journey, which is the AI disruption, right? This is something we think about a lot as a company, right? And this is also a question a lot of our customers ask us. So this is happening. What should we be doing? What are you doing in ManageEngine, right? So this is what I'll address. So in this journey of digital transformation, we spoke about future of work in 23. Last year, I remember speaking about digital maturity of organizations. If you did all those well, you are at a point where you can think about how do you become AI ready? Because take it from me, just taking and deploying AI is not going to give you any magical solution, right? You should be ready to leverage AI. And what that means is what we will talk about. To understand this, I want to give this as an example. This happened last year, October 22, 2024, I believe. This is a landmark technology moment in the field of technology, right? My colleague Tony Mark told me there is a big joke in Brazil. The rocket always goes out, it never comes back, right? But this was proven wrong last year. So SpaceX was not only able to launch a rocket to the space, but they were able to get it back, land it back in the earth. Imagine, this booster is size of a 24-story building. It is like there is a tall building you have thrown to the space and you have caught it back, right? As a technology enthusiast, I was super excited to just watch, right? So, but what is the important point here? What is the big deal in throwing a rocket and catching it back? Right? So what does it really mean? So the bigger perspective here that we all need to understand is this moment of catching the rocket back is just one milestone in a bigger journey. What is the end goal really? Right? It is not get the rocket back or catch the booster back. The end goal, the real aspiration behind this project is how do we make humans a multi-planetary civilization, right? To achieving this goal, it's a long journey. You have to have multiple milestones, and the reusable rockets is one milestone, nothing more, nothing less, right? It is not the end goal in itself, right? These are the benefits that it's giving. Every rocket is reusable 200 times, much, much cheaper, right? They failed a lot of times. SpaceX failed a lot of times because any aspirational journey or transformation like this going to cost a lot of money, lot of effort. It requires a lot of risk appetite. You don't know what's really going to happen, but you still have to keep trying at it, right? So that's what they did. And it's not about doing this once. This has to be repeatable. What it means to be repeatable, like, October 2024, this happened once. You cannot sit in the rollets. You have to make it work, make it a lot more efficient, a lot more cheaper, doing it many, many more times, thousands of times, 10,000s of times. In 2025, we are talking about SpaceX launching 175 rockets, right? Which is a rocket launch every 2 days, imagine, right? So at some point, it could be many rocket launches every day as we as humans carry on with our aspirations. We can always debate if this is right or wrong, but what it takes to do this, what it takes to achieve this. A company like SpaceX or a person like Elon Musk. We need people like this. You may like him, you may not like him, agree with him, disagree with him, but you need people like this to push the boundaries, to push these benchmarks, landmarks to happen. What I find the lessons to be taken from SpaceX, right? So when we talk about milestones being achieved, absolute clarity and conviction about the end goal, right? So they are not even celebrating catching the rocket or the booster back because you are very clear about the eventual goal, which is make humans multi-planetary. At least take one set of humans, move them to Mars, right? That is when we will celebrate. That clarity is important. They are very optimistic, at the same time very balanced about the practical outcomes, right? Blind optimism doesn't work always, very balanced, very accepting of the failures. When things go wrong, they accept, yes, we failed and move on. And then the third point is important, awareness of possibilities. What is possible, what is not possible, what should they be trying? It's very important to know for you to even attempt such goals, right? Because when you know your technology is not going to really help, you probably have to go back to the basics. This is what Elon Musk keeps talking all the time. Go back to first principles. Don't just assume things would work. No, be aware of the possibilities and what is not possible. The fourth point, they're able to blend data with instincts. Both are very important, right? So, and then absolutely no compromise on the basics. Like you follow SpaceX as a company, not just Musk, but anyone from their team. They talk about first principles all the time. So you learn a lot of basic physics just reading, listening to them, right? That is very important as professionals. And finally, resilience as an underpinning, which is very, very important, because before the first successful launch, they had hundreds of failures, right? Even now, launches fail, right? So they just hit the sea instead of space. But every time they come back stronger, right? So the point is, these are the lessons you get from a project like SpaceX, and each such breakthrough, getting the booster back is just a breakthrough, not an end goal, fuels the journey ahead. Why am I saying all this? Because all of you in your enterprises are on a similar journey. You have the mandate from your business, from your management, to undertake such aspirational transformation. You could be growing as a global company. This happened to us as a company. We were operating from one country, serving just one country. We had the aspiration to truly go global. The same would be true for all of you, right? And you want to be future-proof, right? Today we have AI. Next year we could have something else, right? How do you become future-proof? At the same time, not take your eyes off the end goal that you have, right? In that context, AI, what you have as AI today, all the basic models, your large language models, agentic AI, all that we talk about, these are just breakthroughs that you have. That brings you closer to your end goal. The end goal could be you becoming a global corporation. The end goal could be you serving 3-4 adjacent domains. For AI to be truly useful to the masses, to everybody, every citizen in the world, it has to become, the infrastructure needs to be built in this world, right? That is the real opportunity. The country, the nations that are able to build this infrastructure will be economic superpowers, technology superpowers even by 2027, right? So the point is, AI is no longer just hype. It is able to deliver clear value, as we have seen from many, many case studies now, right? Big corporations, big companies have deployed AI and are seeing great results. It's no longer just hype. So, which means each one of us, from ManageEngine, each one of you could already be leveraging AI to meet your end goals. That's the important point. But what it is going to take to do that, you just cannot subscribe to Azure OpenAI. You just cannot subscribe to or take DeepSeek, deploy, and expect results to happen. The same lessons that you had from SpaceX, you have to apply here. For you to become AI ready, these lessons are going to serve you really well. Absolute conviction and clarity about your end goal. Write it down. What do you want to do as a business? What do you want to achieve? What are your objectives? You start from there. Be optimistic, yet be very balanced. That is very important. The third point, be aware of the possibilities. What can you do with conversational intelligence? What can you do with prescriptive intelligence? What can you really do with what people talk about agentic AI? Awareness of possibilities. What can they do? And how do you map them to the goals that you have? That is very important. Blend data with your instincts. That is, again, goes without saying, very important. So collect as much data about how your projects are going and blend it with the instincts, right? So most of the time you would know if you're on the right track or not. Absolutely no compromise on the basics. So because you have AI, it is not a license to go easy with your security or privacy, because it opens up a completely new set of vectors for attack, right? So that is very important. And finally, resilience as an underpinning. Even if you have AI, even if you have AI writing all your code, generating all your content, things would fail. Now things could fail more gloriously, right? So it becomes, resilience is very, very important. If you see, most of these are human traits. Your clarity, your conviction, your instincts, right? Your resilience. All these are going to matter. With all this, the message I want to emphasize is, don't just assume I take AI and put it and expect it to start to work. You have to become AI ready. Are you ready? Are you in a position? Are you in a situation to leverage AI? Am I AI ready? is the question we should all be asking today, right? And which is what I'll try to answer, and what it means for all of us to be AI ready. A simple explanation for me is, so it is that phase in your digital transformation journey. Remember, we are in this digital transformation journey. We are just in this phase of journey where AI should be working for you. And you should not be working to put AI into your infrastructure. You should not even worry about what AI is, where that is. AI should be working for you. I usually give the usual analogy. Take your health, right? We are all worried about keeping ourselves fit, but the real healthy person is the person who is burning calories when they are sleeping. You fix your metabolism, so even when you sleep, your body is burning calories. That's how it works. It is not like you work out 3-4 hours a day, and if you don't fix the basics, if you don't fix the metabolism, you are still not burning calories, you are not going to be fit. It's the same thing here. AI should be working for you even when you are asleep, right? How can you do that? This is the evolution of digital transformation journey at a very, very high level. So 15 years ago, assume you started on this journey. This is where you would have started. From your paper, from your manual processes. The first step of digitalization would have been build this system of insights or system of records. Move everything to a database. Move everything to an application. You should have started there. If you had that done really well, you would have then moved on to this phase called building the system of workflows or system of automation. You had the system of records. You moved to system of automation where you were able to automate a lot of repetitive tasks. If you did these two phases well, you then moved on to building and delivering what we call as system of experiences, right? Your sales team, wherever they are, when they have a business problem, just ask a question in the app, it gets done, right? People, regardless of their location, regardless of their device, should be able to get their work done in the context of business. This is system of experience. You should have built that. Only if you had done these 3 steps well, you can even think of building the system of intelligence. That is our deep conviction inside ManageEngine, right? Should have a good data infrastructure, good automation infrastructure, good experience infrastructure. Now, this means you are AI ready, right? In other words, system of insights, system of workflows, and system of experiences. If you have done all these well, you are now in a position to leverage AI so you could go build and deliver your system of intelligence. And what it means in your organizations, you have the mandate to build the system of intelligence, like you did with the 3 previous phases. This, in simple terms, is what I mean by you all becoming AI ready. In other words, as CIOs, as CISOs, some of you are CISOs here, Chief Information Security Officers. Most of you are technology leaders in your organization. Your mandates, they don't change. Your day-to-day operations, your security and privacy, risk and compliance, your focus on both employee and customer experience, none of that changes, except you now have a massive, powerful tool that is AI, right? That is what you need to understand. Your mandates don't change, but you suddenly have a tool that is very, very powerful. Again, visualizing it in some other way, this is how we think in ManageEngine, right? Any enterprise today is a digital enterprise, and the way we look at a digital enterprise comprising of the 3 Ws. All the workforce, the entire workplace, and the workloads. A workforce is anyone participating in a business, need not even be employees, could be contractors, could be partners. Your workplace is anywhere from where your workforce is doing a business transaction. This is how we need to visualize digital enterprise today. If that is the basis we start with, You need to worry about doing your day-to-day operations. You need to build strategy. You need to build outcomes. We have spoken about it. Now what is happening is you have this power of giving a massive AI boost to your operational level, to your strategy level. This is what we need to understand. We already had tools, but now these tools come with a massive AI boost. So how inside ManageEngine, we envision helping you leverage the power of the massive boost that I am talking about. This is what we have done. This is what we are doing, and this is what we are going to do further as well. In 2012, 13 years ago, we started our efforts with artificial intelligence. We built basic models that could do detection, models that could do anomaly detection, predictions, and all of that. We did that well. And then in the last 2 years, what we did, each of the product group inside ManageEngine, IT service management with Service Desk Plus, or take Log 360, which is our SIEM solution. They all integrated large language models, both internal as well as external models. We did that at the level of each product, right? Now what we were able to do is all these products, all the data that they have, they push it into what we call as the Zoho Unified Data Platform. This is common for both ManageEngine and Zoho. We are building this infrastructure. Remember, this is thinking and becoming AI ready. This is building the infrastructure that will help you leverage AI. We have done that. Not just that, we have also started building the autonomous AI agents. We call it the ZIA agents. This is already possible. If some of you want to see a demonstration, please reach out to us. We can show these things in action. And not only that, these agents are not built by ManageEngine. It can be built by you. It can be built by our partners. It can be built by our ecosystem, right? It's very, very similar to the Microsoft Copilot model, right? So you build what you want. The biggest differentiator, so along with the agents, we also have the conversational intelligence. The biggest differentiator when it comes to AI in ManageEngine, as opposed to all the publicly available AI technology, large language model, is we deeply care about the privacy of data, right? So what it means, ManageEngine is used in the context of business. You all use ManageEngine in the context of business. It needs to respect the access control rules that are defined. So today you can go to ChatGPT, ask any question, right? So there is no privacy. But the same cannot be the case in the context of business. When I ask a question as an executive of ManageEngine, I will be able to get an answer that is very, very different from someone joining ManageEngine just this week, which is very important to understand, right? This is the promise. This is the commitment we give from ManageEngine. Your data, the access control, the privacy of your data will be paramount, right? So absolutely no compromise there. We do the permission layer very, very strong. That would be the difference. Like I said, we also are investing heavily in building our own data infrastructure. So we call this RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, right? All of this, the data will be only inside ManageEngine. You have the option to never allow the data going out to other AI systems. This is our commitment. And as we speak, 2 weeks back, we announced our own large language model tuned to the context of business. So for people who are technically inclined, we released models in 3 sizes, 3, 7, and 11 billion parameters. So if you're a business that has complex data, we have a 11 billion parameter LLM that can answer all your questions, right? So this is the approach that we are taking in ManageEngine, right? So if you use ManageEngine products, this is how you visualize. You have products from ManageEngine at the operations layer for all your day-to-day operations. You have product suites from ManageEngine for running your strategies, right? We also have solutions that you can build to deliver outcomes, but what we are doing now is giving a massive AI boost. You don't have to worry about it. These are features that will get automatically released inside each of the ManageEngine products. So, like you see, across all our products, we'll have a consistent conversational intelligence that you can build. And again, across all the products from ManageEngine, you will have these autonomous agents, intelligent automation that you can build, where each product talks to each other, right? So where you no longer need to build manual workflows, you have intelligent autonomous automation. This is where we are headed in ManageEngine. So how are we doing it? ManageEngine will continue to be this digital enterprise management platform. Only it will be much more AI-powered, multi-layered approach, which means our focus on solving the operational layer problems. Your problem of doing patch management, your problem of doing password resets, or pushing policies to various people and various devices. All of this will continue to invest. Your trouble ticketing, your basic network monitoring, our focus will not go down. We will continue to build the products, and we'll put together all these products in a way you already know, right? So how do we solve much strategic level problems? You have patch management, you have ticketing. How do you put them together? You have asset management, right? So the functional layer, from operational layer, we move on to functional layer. We'll again continue to invest heavily in building this layer. This is a new initiative in the last 2 years. We are also building common services layer across ManageEngine. How do you search across all the ManageEngine products? How do you run workflows across the products? How do you do analytics, data analytics across all these products? And very recently, how do you leverage AI technology, all these products? So each one of this is a common service, common microservice technology service that will power each ManageEngine product, right? So it's important to understand. So once you have the operational, functional, and services layers ready, you will now be able to go build solutions that you want, outcomes that you seek. How do you improve your ability to respond to incident quickly? It is an outcome. How do you improve your security posture? How do you become compliance ready? Because if you are into the financial industry, every month you are subject to audit. Every quarter, external audits. Should always be in a position to show evidences. We will be able to help you, right? So that will be the solutions layer from ManageEngine. So these are some of the examples. ManageEngine was a set of products. We became a suite of products. And as we speak today, we are one unified platform for the entire digital enterprise. And from 2025, it is also massively AI-powered. And the AI-powered capabilities are in the background. You don't need to do anything. Continue to use the platform. You will unlock the power of AI, right? How? I'll talk about a few specific examples. I spoke about solutions and outcomes. How do you build employee experience? How do you do cyber resilience, operational efficiency? I spoke about agentic AI. Agentic AI, one easy way to, again, visualize this. You have human employees part of workflows. Now you are going to have the digital employees who are going to be part of your workforce. You will have agents doing specific tasks. Tasks like reading a PDF file and understanding. Tasks like opening a spreadsheet, adding a new formula. These are all agents. An agent that can go to the web, ask questions, give you insights about what is the right price you can pay today for AWS, right? So these are agents. This is what your human employees would be doing. Today we have created the equivalent of human employees. We call them the digital employees. You can go create it in our system. And these examples give you an illustration of how things would work. Employee experience, what is the usual case? Your CIO or the IT department would be running a survey every quarter. One such survey could be giving you not so good results. People are grossly dissatisfied or unsatisfied When it happens, what do you typically do, right? So you need to go do a lot of analysis. One, understand the feedback from your own workforce. Try to understand what are the challenges, what are the problems that you have in your system. You try to understand and benchmark it to the industry standards. What is the acceptable level? All of this, you need to spend a lot of time. You will have your L1 solution experts who are like looking into the tickets, who are looking into the feedback. Now, all these could be done by your AI agents, your digital employees, right? These are, again, software functions, but with the power of LLM at the back end. So they will be able to do all these functions as you see. Like, why are my L1 resolutions taking a lot of time? Right? Why do I have so many application performance issues? All of this could be outsourced to agents like this. You could have a triaging agent. What is triaging? So you want someone to look into hundreds of issues raised and pick the top 3 to work on, right? You can delegate that task today to a digital employee, digital agent. An EDR agent, which means you don't need any humans to even know an attack is happening. Automatically detect and stop attacks, that is possible. You have L1, L2 agents, you have a subject matter expert agents. All of these could be created. So your human employees could be delegated to much more important tasks. So we are already able to create these agents in our unified service management product. So this is in beta. The LLM is already publicly available. You can have a taste of how things work, right? So just reach out to us. The same goes for something like cyber resilience, right? How do you increase your resilience? It's fundamentally very simple. You increase your ability to think clearly, no fatigue. You have the mental clarity to respond when something bad happens. What typically stops you from doing that? False positives multiplied by the effect of your inability to triage, right? Which means people sitting in a SOC, Security Operations Center, they not only have to work on legitimate alarms, you are going to have tens of thousands of false alarms, and you have to go through each one of them to even triage. Pick what are the top 2 alarms for me to work. When you multiply these both, we get into what we call into a state of alert fatigue. And once you are in the state of fatigue, you cannot think of being resilient because your head is so cluttered. So one possibility today is you can now build digital agents, digital employees who don't get fatigued as much looking through your false alarms. They're triaging. Again, we are able to create these agents in our SIEM solution to deliver you the benefits, right? Again, in our SIEM, IAM, and UEM suite, we will be having the equivalent of digital agents, the autonomous agents, that could do all these actions to reduce your fatigue, which directly correlates to your higher levels of resilience, right? The third one, operational efficiency. Again, a common problem for a lot of our customers who have this hybrid infrastructure. 50% of your infrastructure on premises, 50% on the cloud, on infrastructure as service with multiple cloud vendors, SaaS applications. You don't even know on a monthly basis if you are paying the right price for what you are using. This is a big challenge. It's FinOps as it's called. It's a major challenge between the CIOs, the CFOs, and all of that. Why do companies even get into the situation? Because often they are over-licensed. They buy more licenses than they need. They don't have a good benchmark data. A company of their size, how much should they actually be using? They don't have the right research capabilities to know or negotiate with their vendors if they are paying the right price. These are the challenges. Again, if you do this manually, if you do this with your human employees, it's not very efficient. This is again something that can be outsourced to the digital employees, right? So like you see here, you can have an agent that acts like your director. You have an agent that can go look into the consumption of software inside your company, see who's overusing or who is underutilizing. That is a separate agent. Then you create another agent that goes to the web and looks at company of your size, what should be you using. And you could have another agent that looks into your credit card spend, it looks into all the purchase orders you have to know how much actually you are spending. You get all of this, and then you also create a director agent to look into all the data, to tell you what licenses you should be canceling, what negotiations you should be doing, all of that, right? Once again, this will be very much part of our observability suite, part of our UEM, which is our endpoint management and also service management suite, right? This is how we will build agents, we will build conversational intelligence into ManageEngine that will give you the massive power of AI boost that we are talking about. You continue to use Service Desk Plus, you continue to use Site 24/7, Endpoint Central, AD 360, Log 360, all of that. You will also, at the same time, get to leverage the massive AI boost from ManageEngine. So like I said, our focus, our investments in these areas will continue. In addition, we are going to bring you the power of AI, right? Because we really feel every week is different today. Every week you have a new language model coming in. So last week we saw, like 3 days back, Grok, the X AI, give one picture, it is immediately able to create a video of 10-15 seconds. I give a picture from 1900s, it's able to create a video. So every week, we are seeing a breakthrough. We have endless possibilities. And when you are in this situation of having endless possibilities, lot of challenges, our commitment from ManageEngine is we will be with you to make sure you have the power, you leverage the technology the right way, without compromising on the basics, without compromising security, without compromising privacy. We will be with you on this journey, right? And with that message, thank you so much for listening. And I again want to emphasize, we do this event every year because we want to be in front of you. We want to be talking to each one of you. You will be about 400 people from attendees, and from ManageEngine and from our partners, we'll easily be close to 100 people. We want to talk to each one of you. So use the time in the next 2 days. I'm happy to talk to as many of you as possible. Right? Ask me questions, give us the feedback. You can argue about the model that I presented. You can tell me like if this is the right direction or not, all of that. We are so happy to be here to take that feedback. With that said, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for coming again here. I look forward to talking to you all over the next 2 days. Thank you so much. Obrigado.